had a show at the Comedy Store. It just like went really south, where I forgot like 50% of my set.
Oh boy!
And I like started sweating up there, and I just started repeating, "We're having fun, we're having fun." And then I would say something from another part in my set. I remember, and I was like, "We're having fun, we're having fun."
That's
And
tough, right?
Eventually, I was like, "What's the ending to this set? How do I close it out with one joke?" I hit the one joke that I remembered at the end. Turned around to leave through the curtain. I couldn't find where the curtain opened. So now I'm out there just swimming in a curtain. Finally get through. I'm sweating. I got that anxious sweat going. And I kick my foot on the step that I forgot was there. And I just fell through the curtain. Just down.
Wow.
And I went right to the bar.
This is the Mac and G Show.
Welcome to episode 26 of the Mac and G Show. I am back from Ireland. I'm going to go into that a little bit in the catch-up. But I am thrilled for our guest today. He is a cousin, family member. We'll get into that. And he is someone like you and I that appreciates comedy. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. Before we get into that, I want to give a little bit of a catch-up. So, as I stated before, I was in Ireland for the very first time.
So we don't want to introduce our cousin.
Not yet.
We want to talk about Ireland first.
Yes, that's the catch-up.
Okay.
That's the way we do it. No offense. You can maybe chime in a little bit.
Yep.
But
Right, because you were
I was
there.
there.
He was there.
Okay.
So I'd always wanted to go to Ireland, always need an excuse. So my niece got married, decided she wanted to get married in Ireland. So we went. They were in the south of Ireland, in Limerick, a place called Adair Manor, which was insane.
Yep.
Right? Like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous probably did something there back in the 80s. Incredible. We spent some time there for a few days. Then my wife and I and children, we went up north where my family came over from. So the McMahons came over from County Tyrone in Northern Ireland. And, you know, if you look at the history of, if you know the history of Ireland, it's very complicated.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So there's the United Kingdom, right?
Yep.
So Northern Ireland's part of the United Kingdom.
It is.
Yep.
But Southern Ireland isn't. It's its own place, right?
So there's Ulster in Northern Ireland is made up of 9 counties. 6 of them are occupied by the UK. There's 3 counties in Ulster that aren't. Donegal is one of them. That's the Farrens.
Okay.
They're Donegal. I spoke to a lot of people in the country. They think at some point there will be a unified Ireland. It'll just be Ireland. The UK won't own it, right? Again, it's very complicated because you have British people that have been living in Ireland for hundreds and hundreds of years.
But is it Northern Ireland that's supposed to be part of the United Kingdom, right?
Oh,
That's
those-
when I look at a
yep.
map or something, it's
Those
like the
6
United
counties are considered UK property.
Kingdom. Okay. And below that,
Everything
it's
else,
its own country.
everything else
and
is
that's
Ireland.
it. Okay.
Everything else is
Okay.
Ireland.
Aren't they all considered the British Isles, though? Together?
Yes.
Okay.
I bet the Irish wouldn't want to say that, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of, again, it's very complicated. It was, so we went up north. I had been emailing with a third cousin that I'd never met. And my sister came over and her husband, they joined us after the wedding,
Yep.
which was on, my wife's side of the family was for the wedding. It was unbelievable. I didn't realize that my third cousin had 6 siblings. Well, I guess I did, but the 6 siblings were there. The next generation was there. The next generation's probably in their 40s because my third cousin was in her 70s. And then there were kids that were younger than that. So it was great.
Mhm.
And I saw the place where 150 years ago, my ancestors, were walking this, the dirt roads and the farms. And so it was really pretty incredible. And then after that, our final stop was in Dublin. Saw Trinity College. It was graduation one of the days that we were there. We went to the Guinness store.
Was Sorensen in there?
He wasn't.
Did he get a plaque?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so they had a plaque with his name.
They have a statue on the top level.
He was a friend of ours that was on one of the episodes, and he said he had the best pour
He's obsessed with the Guinness Perfect Pour. So
It's better over there.
I didn't think it was different though.
I think it is.
You did?
I thought it tasted so much better.
I like it either way, I didn't notice it any differently, but I'm sure they do produce it differently. But it's a pretty good take. If you believe what they say, it's one of the #1 tourist attractions in all of Europe is the Guinness factory. They do a really good job. It was all like, it looked like Disney-esque, the different giant screens and the way they did everything. So it was a good take. And now I'm home, but it was a nice trip to Ireland. I hope I go back again. Did you enjoy Ireland?
I loved Ireland.
Had you been to Ireland before that trip? That was your first trip?
Yeah, I'd been before.
Oh, you had?
On a layover. Promised my wife I wouldn't go outside of Dublin, though, because we were supposed to go together.
Okay.
But went to the Guinness factory and just drank. Like saw the city for a few days. So it's a couple days.
It's kind of neat, right?
So like, what do you do there? Is there a bar? Everybody drinks? Do they give you samples? Can you
mean
just
at
hang
the Guinness
out there?
factory?
Yeah.
They give you a ticket. You get a ticket, you can get a drink. I'm sure you can pay.
But can you hang out there and drink anyway? Like is there a big bar?
No, but it's not really that. It's not really the thing. Though.
Yeah, no, you just I mean, they'll give you extra beers. They gave me an extra beer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I get another one. They're like, yeah, whatever. They're very nice in Ireland.
Yes.
Like super nice.
Yeah, very
That's
nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Unlike other places in Europe, I don't think they hate us, Americans.
Yeah.
So
what about the Blarney Stone? Did you get up that way?
Didn't go to the Blarney
Don't you have
Stone.
to like hang off a building to kiss that?
Did you go to the Cliffs of Moher? Did you do that? That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It looked, I mean, is there like were there Game of Thrones, was that filmed there or something like that?
Probably.
Is that where the picture you sent came from?
Yeah.
Like
that was
right when you got
the
there?
Cliffs of Moher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. So the other comment I want to make is that I chose not to get a rental car. The roads are very narrow. Matt did.
Yeah.
But I didn't. My wife was concerned. So we had a couple drivers and I let both drivers know. We had one in the south, one that drove us to the north. I let them know about the Mac and G show. I said, we can have remote guests. I think we might have one or both of them on. So to Shane and Barry, because you said you were going to follow, this is going out to you. Get ready because we're going to have you on the show. That's my trip to Ireland. Thumbs up. If you get a chance to go, I would go. I think it's kind of neat, right? For me, it was extra special for a lot of reasons, right?
Yeah.
The other comment I wanted to make at the end of this catch up is that today was the 129th running of the Boston Marathon.
Wait, I want to do a prediction. I don't know what happened. I'm going to say a Kenyan one.
You were right. And then you pointed out the closest American came in fourth.
Yep. Barely. It was 3 guys running toward the finish line, then just got smoked at the end. So
imagine you run for 26 miles and then some dude beats you by
You
like
got to sprint at
10
the end,
feet.
man. You got to keep a little in the tank.
I mean, they just burned them.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But historically, Americans come in 7th. We came in 4th this year. We're working our way up.
Hey, did you guys see that girl that they were doing? They were passing the baton and she just like whacked the girl in the back of the head.
No.
You guys didn't see that?
I think I saw
last
that
week?
video.
This was today?
No, it was like maybe last week or the week before. And she said she did it by accident. So she's like running and she literally just caught the girl right in the
This
back
was like
of the
a
head.
4x100 thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Okay,
like
gotcha.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
that's what the American needed to do to the Kenyan if you want to go in first.
I mean, take them down. Take the 3
Well,
down.
something. Throw a
Bump
shoe.
them. Got it. Would you ever run in a marathon?
I would only run the Boston Marathon
It's a tricky one.
if I could.
Right.
You know? But
I don't know if I ever wanted to do that. I mean, it would be nice to be able to tell people that I ran.
I
a
ran
marathon.
cross country for 1 year in high school. I was a freshman. The hockey coach wanted us to do it. I didn't play football. And so all the older kids, so we used to run down East Boston, Bennington Street, all the way down. And then you turn and you go into Winthrop and they would run for a couple miles and come back. I used to stop right at the corner.
Catch you around.
I would let them
Catch
go.
you.
They went to
Just
Winthrop.
you or another
They came
buddy?
Me and
Just
another
you?
buddy. I'm like, I didn't want to do this. Like the coach made us do it. Oh man, the older kids got pissed. But like the hockey players, like, I'll leave them alone. But it was boring.
You could have faked it and been like,
No, I just sat down.
go
I
on,
didn't care.
you go on. I got a cramp.
I was like, I'm not leaving East Boston.
Yeah.
You guys go. I'm fine. Like, I shaved off a few miles,
Yeah, so
but it's just I didn't love it. You know,
it's tough to run a long time. First of all, it takes a long time.
I used to come in last, like every time.
That's 'cause you never-
every meet. I was
you
like,
didn't
it was like
train-
me and 2 other
You didn't
kids.
train properly. You never finished the
It's
training.
just,
I got you. All right. Do we know anyone that ran it? Do you know anyone that ran it?
there was somebody that I was watching Channel 4 News last night, and one of the women's has like Lou Gehrig's disease or something.
Oh,
like that
come
work,
on.
yeah.
Just to make me feel bad.
No,
then.
and she ran. They said she lost her ability to speak, but
really?
you know Burton
Yeah.
was saying it, and she was a real warrior.
But I'm
so
saying
God bless her.
personally, do you know someone personally that's run it or ran it this year?
Me,
No, not this year.
No?
No.
Can't even think of I must know.
And you have to really qualify to do it. Or you have to raise like $9,000.
Oh, they
And
do
then you
that
can
too?
then you can
I
run.
thought that was the Pan Mass. I didn't realize that was the marathon too. Is that the marathon too?
Yeah. It used to be 5,000. Then I think someone told me it was 7,000
Jeez.
this year, maybe. But you pick a cause, you raise money. If you don't raise enough money, I don't think you can run.
Wow.
We
Okay.
should raise money and have Sorensen do it. He does the Feast of 5.
He does.
He can do it.
He does. So a 5K is how much compared to a 26 mile?
26.
But a 10K
think
is
it's-
6 miles. So it's
a-
like 2
a lot
miles.
more. It's
It's
a
like
lot more.
13 times that would be a marathon. All right. Let's throw a challenge
Wouldn't
out
it
to
be
John
5 times?
Sorensen. No, a 10K is a 10K 6 miles. So
Yeah.
a 5K is like 3 miles.
3.1
So
something.
what's-
Yeah,
so
yeah,
what's
yeah.
a 20?
26. So yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Whatever. He
It's a
could
lot
do it.
more
It's
than.
long.
Okay.
Yeah. He could do it though.
All right. It's a long catch up. 2 more things. Take a look at this baby right here. I made
Wow.
this because the last one we had, as Ricky will tell you, did not have a big enough lip for the microphone holders. So they literally in the middle of a show, it would just fall off.
It's got a nice flange.
and I didn't see it, but Ricky, all of a sudden I could hear like the thing going like clunk.
Who was on the? I forget who it was. I'm just like holding the thing. Like this
He was
in my
holding it
hand.
like that.
It was just like on the floor.
So I made this over the last few weeks, and it has a big enough lip, and I'm kind of
Nice.
proud.
Did it
right?
take a few weeks to make?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I took my time with it.
Well, it
You
looks
know,
good.
Yeah, it's not
I
bad,
feel really bad though because you put the other one out in the street.
and no one wants it.
I
I put a thing on I put the last one on the street with a free thing, and 3 days later, no one's taking it.
I can take it if you want.
Only if you want to.
Maybe I won't tell you.
Only if you want to use it, right? Just
Okay.
make me feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I was
I
gonna
just-
say just toss it out at the end of the street.
I really usually you do that, and it's someone takes it. You know, you could burn it if you wanted to, right?
It's
Like
painted though.
you don't want to burn the paint.
Eh.
It's bad for you.
I don't think I'd have a spot to burn in Charlestown either.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little interesting, right? It's, an angled piece. So it has to work in your feng shui or whatever you want to call it. But I didn't do a great job painting it.
I'm
Looks
gonna
great.
take a look at the one outside after
Yeah.
this.
I did a little polyurethane on it too. A couple polyurethane, make it a little bit
It
tighter.
looks just
Sturdy.
like the other one, but better.
Last but not least, and this could be the most important thing.
Still haven't introduced the cousin yet.
Not yet.
20-minute conversation going on here.
This is great.
14,
Who's in the other chair?
14. I got the timer right here. But he's been a part of the discussion.
I know.
Okay, so if you're following us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, set up for alerts, follow us on social media. We haven't made a dime yet, and we do it because we love it, but it would be nice to make a dime, right? And then you pointed out we're going to put it right back into the
Any money we get, right back into the show.
right back into the podcast. So, all right, it's a long catch up, but now we get to our guest. I'm going to call him Cousin Matt, right?
That works.
Now I feel like you should explain the relationship because I've been going on for too long. So why don't you explain I would say it's a Greek thing, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe other, nationalities do this as well.
Oh, for sure.
But your grandparents
Yep.
and my father and mother-in-law
hmm
were very close.
Yeah, they were best friends. I think my grandparents actually knew your father-in-law before he met your mother-in-law.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In upstate New York,
Mhm.
Syracuse.
Yep.
And so that bond, that relationship has now extended down 2 generations.
Yes.
And you guys, as far as I'm concerned, you guys are family,
Absolutely.
right?
I mean, my mom, your wife,
Yep.
were best friends, very close growing up, and
Yep.
her sister. And then my dad introduced his friend to. There's a lot to explain. There's
Yep.
a lot of intertwining between 3 generations.
And then
of-
Cassandra's sister and brother-in-law,
Yep.
be you, your dad,
Yep.
be you, and your mom. So, Yeah, really, really tight. We're just gonna say we're related,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
And now the third generation of kids all keep in touch. We all get along.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to hint at the fact that Matt might become our producer,
This is my tryout.
right?
This is
No,
my tryout.
you don't even have to try out for that.
Okay.
All you have to do is show up, which you did.
Nailed it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into a lot. Matt's done stand-up comedy. We're going to hear about that. Recently married.
Recently,
We're going to talk a little bit about where you are, where Ricky and I are with our wives, maybe some fun around that. But before we do that, what is, and this is a tricky question because, you know, you don't know where to go with this one, but what is the origin story of Matt Moramarco?
Yeah, this is great. I'm also looking forward to having my name online. And if I ever go for another job, they're just going to see this and they're going to watch it.
So far, you've done nothing that you should be ashamed of.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Matt Moramarco, 1991 born, Andover, Massachusetts. Well, Boston, but I won't go that deep into it.
Yeah.
Grew up in Massachusetts. Moved around for college. Didn't do well there. But finished after 6 years. Took the long route. Oh, yeah. Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
Moved to LA. Just decided I want to do stand-up comedy.
Hold on.
Yep.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most of us have a little bit of anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any anxiety?
Very much so.
So how do you decide, all right, I'm anxious. I'm going to get on a stage in LA.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
seems really a difficult place to go.
So I've always been kind of an extrovert with anxiety. I've always had a lot of anxiety about things that don't matter.
Okay.
But that's, I feel like, a lot of people.
Yep.
Coupled with OCD. That's a whole nother story. But
The next time you're on.
So I had wanted to do stand-up since I was in 5th grade. It's in my 5th grade yearbook.
We always try to make people laugh. Do you think?
I don't think I tried. I think I just kind of
No, but
did
was
it.
that, you know, like I remember growing up, I got a kick out of making someone laugh.
Yes, so, absolutely.
Okay.
I loved making people, feel good and like laugh and everything. And that was always good. But I was never like overly trying, I thought. And I feel like when I was overly, trying too hard, I'd like pull back.
Okay.
And then, so yes, I would try to make people laugh for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom, I talked to her. I said, I want to go to LA. I want to do comedy. And I just,
And what are we looking at? What are you, 24?
25 around this time.
25. Okay.
And because, it took a little bit longer to do
Yep.
college.
Yep.
And she called me one day. She had had enough of me talking about it. She goes, I signed you up for a class. You're going to go for 6 weeks, do a class once a week, and then you're going to do
In
a
LA
show.
or here?
In LA.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, and you're going to do a show. And I was like, all right.
Wait, so were you out in LA when she said this?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Because I kept talking about it and I'd get sidetracked.
So what were you doing in LA when you weren't doing stand-up
I was
comedy?
just being a bro
Okay.
with my buddies.
Bro.
I moved out there and I didn't have a place to stay.
Oh, boy.
And I remember I got to my buddy's house and I emailed his dad while I was at his house. And I was like, can I sleep in your house for a few weeks?
And he said yes.
Yeah, I lived with them
Good.
for a month. And then I lived with another buddy for a month and a half and his family. So I was just like, felt kind of bad. I just attached.
No, but good for you. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm so glad I did. And then eventually my godmother out there, she had a small side house, pool house, if you will. And she let me live there for 3-4 months until I finally found a place.
That was the inspiration for JB Smooth in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
What was the guy? What was that? What was the OJ kid that lives on the house?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do you remember that?
Cato.
Yes.
That was OJ. I don't know if you remember OJ. That was before you were.
No, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
who he is.
OJ Simpson?
Yeah.
I know
Remember
OJ.
Cato was the witness. He lived in the pool house.
Oh,
right?
I don't know anything about Cato.
You would have been probably.
It was in 90.
He would have been
1
3
or
years
2.
old, probably.
Yeah.
when he
90,
was-
94, right?
Yeah, it was
Wasn't
around
that the day the Rangers won the Stanley Cup too? Wasn't there a whole 30 for 30 about it?
So I always remember it because one of my buddies got married
Okay.
in Connecticut, and we went down a day early. And so I was in the wedding party, and it was the rehearsal dinner. We literally, that's when he was driving the Bronco.
Slow speed.
The
chase.
Bronco.
Yeah.
We literally, the whole night, we just sat and watched,
Yeah.
my poor buddy, right? But I mean, how do you not
Yeah, it's history.
watch that? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you're out in LA.
Out in LA.
Your mom says, I'm signing you up for classes.
Yeah. And so this whole, a lot of comedians are against, taking a class because you can't only learn comedy in a class. But I thought you actually learned some good stuff. This guy was a he was a writer. He worked with comedians, did the 6-week course at the end. The show was at the Hollywood Improv.
Did you have any material? Like, so you were telling your mom, I want to do stand-up comedy, but I'm not ready yet. Were you writing material before you took the class?
Well, I always had funny ideas
Okay.
and funny stories, and I thought I could translate that. And then I was like, this is completely different when I got there.
But you can learn about writing like you're writing a story. Or you have a delivery. This stuff you could learn if you go to a class, for sure, right?
And it taught me a ton.
Yeah.
Like, timing, how to set it up. Just these very basic things that changed how I was going to go about it. So I was basically
imagine if you had ChatGPT then.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
It would be so easy. No, but it's so I did the course, and then I had a couple goals. I really wanted to do a show at the Hollywood Improv. I really wanted to do a show at the Comedy Store. It's like 2 of the biggest stages. Like, people talk about those, like the meccas, and you get on there. It's like a dream. And so my first show is at the Hollywood Improv.
What?
Yeah. And
how did you get it?
Because that guy who ran the class, he'd been in the industry.
Okay.
Connections. Yeah, connections.
The only thing is, he hung his banner over the Improv sign. I guess it's like, like you got to earn that. And I get that. But still, I'm on the stage in the place, and it's packed. And I'm like, okay, there's what, 200 people there? Something like that.
How long was your set?
5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to do 5 minutes.
That's a long 5 minutes when you're up there by
it feels
yourself, right?
like forever. But I opened up, and I got my first laugh, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, this whole place just laughed. I'm the funniest person in the world. And I did my whole bit. It went great. I got off the stage.
Was there any of your buddies in the crowd?
Yeah, I had a few.
All right.
I had a few
That
of my
makes you
buddies.
feel a little better, right? To have something.
Honestly, no.
Oh, no?
Because like, you look at your friends, and you're like, they're just messing with you. And you're like, God, like, this is nerve-wracking.
I hope they were laughing. Like, they got to help you out.
Yeah.
No,
they
okay,
did.
Good.
But I don't think I needed help.
Yeah, no,
night,
not,
which was great.
I didn't want it to come across that way,
My-
but I'm saying they should fuel the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my comedy career started off in the worst possible way because it went so well. Like, I wish I had done the open mics where there were 4 people before, because right after that show, this guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, I'm a regular at the Comedy Store, and I run this show for, as he put it, rising stars. He's
That
like,
is so cool.
yeah. The show was called D's Nuts.
Ah.
He was like, do you want to perform at the Comedy Store? And I was like, yeah. It's like, this is easy. Like, I'm
All
going.
these people starving and spending time in middle America.
Yeah. And I wanted to get on those 2 stages, and I wanted to earn money. And if I could earn money, I would say to myself, I finally, like, I'm a professional comedian, because I got paid. In my mind, I'm like, you have no boss in comedy. So I'm like, okay, if I get a little bit of cash for doing a show, like, technically, I'm a
But at that
professional
moment,
comedian.
are you saying, like, this is my career? Or are you just saying this is something I'm doing right now?
I feel like I'm always late to things, and even like maturing a little bit. Probably why it took so long for college. I didn't take it as seriously as I probably should have, because I think I had a good opportunity at that point. And
Or maybe that helped you because there was less tension
yeah,
because you didn't take it seriously.
yeah, but yeah, it went well. I mean, the next show at the Comedy Store, they were like, if you can bring a certain amount of people, you get paid. I did one show. He's like, come back to another.
And again, 5-minute sets? Are you doing 5-minute sets?
Yeah. And
Was it the
then-
same material that you had used before?
Yeah, but tweaked
Okay.
just to try to tighten it up.
Yeah.
And then my third
Do you
show,
remember that set?
I remember some of it. I have all the notes
Okay.
on my phone, but like, there was something about basically, I remember one of my bigger skits was being buried in a queen size casket, and how like, just like regular caskets are so uncomfortable, and being buried in a suit is like, I was like, bury me in my boxers, essentially. Something like that was like one of the main themes of it. And then there was another bit I did. So I never tried to lie about my comedy. I never liked comedians who lied. I always tried to take stories from
That were real?
that were my personal experiences or personal experiences of friends that I could tell and mold, I guess, to act like they're mine. Because
Embellish, but
yeah.
not. Yeah.
and a lot of
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
I don't know if you
When
heard
you were
that.
at the Comedy Store, was there a kitchen? And did they cook?
no, but no, I tried to. There was another bit that was really good that I remember my dad called me one time. He went to Aruba, and And he was like, I just got a call when he got back from American Express. He's like, they asked me if I spent $10,000 on chicken at this restaurant. And he was like, I didn't spend $10,000 on chicken. And the woman said to him, are you sure you just don't remember? And he was like, yeah, I absolutely did not.
But you know what? I did.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
And he was like, what, did I try to feed the island? Like, what are you? And so I had a bit about, someone stealing my credit card information with for the chicken thing. And then basically them signing up for careerbuilder.com and me not wanting to cancel the membership because I wanted to make sure they were doing okay. And like, at least they're stealing money and trying to advance their career.
Yeah.
That one I did, which was pretty well. But anyways, the third show at the Comedy Store, I ended up getting paid $55. And yeah.
Professional comedian.
So right there, off the bat.
There it is.
And then...
Third time's the charm.
And then it just slowly dove.
Why?
I mean, I had to hone the craft, and then I really got into what being a stand-up comedy in the beginning, a stand-up comic really is, which was going to these open mics and,
grinding.
There was one in this health food restaurant I used to go to that had a B, which I thought was really funny. And I opened up my set and I was like, I've always wanted to do a stand-up comedy set in a health food restaurant that has a B rating on the front door.
And here I am.
Yeah. And then you do the bars where there's they put you upstairs or there's people around and people aren't really paying attention. And, you go from these rooms that are almost full and it just... Yeah, that started to get discouraging. So I really wish I started.
So what time? How long are you doing this for?
It's 5 minutes.
No. I mean, days, weeks, months.
Oh, so in the beginning, I didn't take it very seriously.
Right.
And then I had a show at the Comedy Store, but it just went really south, where I forgot 50% of my set.
Oh boy!
And I started sweating up there, and I just started repeating, "We're having fun." We're having fun. And then I would say something from another part in my set, I remember, and I was like, we're having fun. We're having fun.
That's tough, right?
Eventually, I was like, what's the ending to this set? How do I close it out with one joke? I hit the one joke that I remembered at the end, turned around to leave through the curtain. I couldn't find where the curtain opened. So now I'm out there just swimming in a curtain, finally get through. I'm so I'm sweating. I got that anxious sweat going. And I kick my foot on the step that I forgot was there, and I just fell through the curtain, just down.
Wow!
And I went right to the bar.
Okay,
and that was kind of the
deal.
Yeah, that was kind of the end of my first stint of comedy. Then I moved to Dallas for a year.
Yeah, you didn't do stand up there.
I did improv there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got to level 4.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know what
there's 5 or 6 levels. And I got through 4 of them before I moved back to LA.
Was it like an improv? When you hear Saturday Night Live, there's certain improv groups that feed into SNL. Was it like that or no?
No, it wasn't like UCB or the
Groundlings or anything like that.
No. And I didn't really like improv. I mean, there were people who were super funny who were there, but it just wasn't for me. I would definitely rather just be alone on stage.
Okay.
And fail on my own.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, I love the kids I did it with. And some of them got super good. And it was really cool to see them go from level 1. Because we had almost the same kids all the way through. I saw them go through level 1 to level 6. Because I left for LA, came back. And they were super, super funny.
Huh.
They got so good.
Okay.
And I was like, that's encouraging, And I was like, I want to get back into the stand-up.
Yep.
When I moved back to LA. Sorry, there's a lot of moving parts with.
So you're back to LA again.
Yeah, I moved back to LA, and I said, okay, I'm doing this. I'm giving it the full go.
Okay.
So, but I needed a job.
That helps.
And I was like, what job could I get? And that's when I was I saw this game for sales in the video game industry, and I was like, video games. I play video games. What do gamers do? Stay up late. When do they get up? They get up late. So
that works.
Took this interview, got the job. I was like, what time do we normally have to be in at? And they were like, people don't start coming in until around 10 a.m. And I was like, this is
on an early day.
yeah, no, seriously. I mean, sometimes people wouldn't show up till 12. It was like,
My goodness.
I mean, the company was great, and you would just stay later though. Plus, it was a gaming company, and they had a game room, so I would stay there till midnight sometimes.
Son of a gun.
Playing games with friends and stuff. It was like I actually really enjoyed my work, and then I started doing comedy more again. I was going all to the open mics. I was like, this is what I got to do. Started hitting shows 3 times a week. Started hitting shows 5 times a week.
5 times a week.
And then I was like, okay, I can get you because you can do a ton.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you have different material for all those shows? Are you doing the same material? How does that work? Because it seems like when we see comedians here, like when they do like 3 days, wherever at the garden, like I think they do a lot of the same stuff if you're doing it.
Probably you're working the material, right?
I do like 80% the same, 90% the same, and then
try some other shit.
Exactly.
Okay.
Until you can like,
because it's hard to have that much material.
Yeah.
You can't, right?
Yeah. But when you get like a full, when you get like a good bit and you can hone it in, then you can kind of like put it to the side, try some new stuff, and that was cool. And when you like it got to the point where you've done a bit like 40 times, and you're like, okay, like I'm really starting to.
No, it's automatic.
Yeah, and you're taking off like words, like even just like removing one word, you're like, this is cool. Like I'm shaving it down, I'm making it tighter, like making it the best you can possibly make it. Yeah, started doing 5 shows a week.
How long are you on stage again? Still 5?
5 minutes.
Okay.
And I had one show one night. You got to like play to your room. And so that's what I was like really learning at this point. Like, okay, if I have a room full of dudes, like
go with this stuff.
It's the boys club.
Yeah.
And I had one night where I like truly thought I was like a headliner. It was just, the show went incredible. I was doing crowd work and it was hitting and we're having a great time. People were laughing. The next day I had a show with the same room, and it was a room full of like beautiful women.
Okay.
This one girl got up there. She was like, "Oh, I was Miss Mississippi in 2017," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't have anything for this this group of women." And I went up there and I did my material from the night before, and just
not the same.
Not
thing.
a peep. I was so nervous, and everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, "This is."
What about hecklers? That to me would be scary.
Got one heckler one time. I wasn't like at the point where I could get a heckler yet.
Okay.
I guess I wasn't playing in rooms like that. I mean, I guess you get heckled anywhere. I got heckled in Boston at a bar in Cambridge. It was very light though. She just like chimed in during my set.
Do you prepare for that? Do you have like a go-to, right? This is how I'm going to shut them down, or do you just wing it?
You just wing it.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like comedians really come after you if you do that, though.
Well, that's the best way to stop it from happening. That's the best way to stop it from happening again, right?
Yeah.
Like just embarrass the person.
Yeah. Yeah. No. But
did it work?
I mean, I didn't do a good job. I was like, oh, thanks.
You suck.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Why don't you get up here, you jerk?
My dad was right next to her. I could have been like, Dad.
Oh, really?
Dad, get her out.
I could see your dad like giving her like an elbow shiver or something like that.
Oh,
you could also get really nasty.
You could.
If it was a woman. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, whatever. Like, you could just get...
You needed Ricky there.
No, I'm just saying, like, you could get wicked nasty.
She wasn't like a bad heckler, though.
All right.
Okay.
I was talking about my degree, and I was like, does anyone even know what that is? And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh. Yeah, it was.
Take it easy, Sally.
I was like, okay. But anyways, I mean, just to wrap up the comedy thing, I started getting up to, I was like, all right, I can do 7 shows a week or whatever. I'm going to start doing multiple night, do this. And COVID hits.
Oh.
And everything got shut down. And I went with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. She's like, oh, we have a Zoom stand-up show we're going to.
Okay.
And I was like, it turned me off so much.
You like you have to have the interaction.
Yeah, right? And they were like, can everyone please unmute so we can hear you laugh? And it's just like all these heads and someone's doing their set. Massive props to the comedians that did that in COVID. But I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't be behind a screen like, how's it going out there?
It's not the same.
When was the Me Too movement? Because you couldn't even do comedy during that. Remember there was like that whole...
I think I started comedy right after that.
Good.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't say anything. Like
No.
It seemed like everybody was so sensitive at that time.
COVID hits, you're out in LA.
Yep.
Then what? Like you don't like to do the Zoom thing.
Then I got fat.
Okay.
Yeah, during COVID. But I met my wife. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met my wife on Hinge.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, she wasn't out there, was she?
No, she was.
Oh, she was out
She
there.
was out in LA.
Okay.
Met her 2 months into COVID.
Okay.
First girl I ever spoke to on a dating app.
Look at
boom.
Once again, much like your first comedy experience, just hit it.
One and done. I went on a date with her, and our first date turned from 3 hours to 12 hours.
That's awesome.
Nothing,
Yeah, I got you.
all
above board.
Yep, very by the book.
Yep.
Then I dropped her off at 3 a.m, and we was like, so what are you doing in
2 hours?
9 hours. Yeah. And then and it was interesting dating during COVID too, because they're like, oh, you gotta wait 2 weeks before you see someone again. You gotta quarantine. Yeah, they had all these crazy rules.
And you followed it?
No,
Okay.
no.
was gonna say,
It just
Those are guidelines.
It was psycho. I mean, what we did, not psycho, but I was like, should I just spend time at your apartment? And instead of going back and forth and dealing with all these masks and everything, I was like, I could just chill here, right? And she's like, yeah. And
there you go.
I was like, okay. And then, dating COVID is everything sped up 3 or 4 times. It's it's
intense.
1 month is 4 months.
More intense.
Yeah.
So you guys meet, you're in LA. How long were you in LA before you weren't in LA?
I was in LA a little over 3 years the first time, and then I was in LA about 2.5 years the second time. So
Wow.
I was in LA almost 6 years.
And with Jess, how long were you there?
A little over a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where'd you go?
Everywhere. We drove cross country we drove to Michigan to her parents' place. We drove to Delaware, then we drove to Boston.
Oh, wow.
That's how we actually ended up here.
Did you still have the same job? No.
Yeah. The reason we stayed, so we actually signed a lease in Pasadena to go back. And a company called me one day and they were like, we have to have a meeting. And I was like, okay. And they were like, we're cutting salaries. And I was, okay, that's fine. I mean,
who wants money?
What can I do?
Who
right?
needs money?
I'm thinking it's going to be like a 5% pay cut. And they were like, we're cutting your salary by 35%. And I was like,
what?
It's like, I'm not going back to LA. I'm going to be remote. And just so happened that my other, some headhunter reached out at the same time. And I was like, cool.
Okay. Similar industry?
Yeah. Same video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then when did you end up in Charlestown?
Right. 2021, actually.
Okay.
Or 2022.
Okay.
I don't know. But we just didn't leave because we were like, we don't want to go back to LA. Let's just try it in Boston. And
so when you were in LA the second time, that's the last time you did stand-up comedy, or no?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right before COVID. So I haven't done stand-up in 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Almost exactly 5 years.
Are you itching to get back?
Yeah, I kind of am now, honestly. I think after, just
Well,
seeing everything.
I know that there are family members
Yeah.
that would like to see that too. So now you got stand-up comedy, improv, not really for you,
Nope.
but there's other ways to express your, humor.
Yep.
And you told us that you would make funny videos and send them to your buds and stuff like that. So could that be an outlet for you?
100%. I mean, I think I'm actually better at the videos than
Okay.
I am. I think I'm better at skits than I am stand-up comedy. 'Cause
Well,
I
you have
think-
more control over
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
You can
there.
do more takes and everything.
Yeah.
What's funny? I mean, I film most of them with my cell phone. Just
That works.
my wife will come home and I'll have all these books stacked up on the counter. She's like, "What are these for?" I'm like, "I needed to rest my phone."
That was the perfect height.
Yeah, I didn't have a setup like this, which I probably should get because it makes.
I might have an extra tripod that, we can let you have.
I would love that
Okay.
because I don't know why I've never thought of. I mean, it's like Amazon Prime will take 24 hours to
Yeah,
get
they're
here.
pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do to help your
Yeah.
career, All right, so that's good on the comedy.
Mhm.
We're going to encourage you to get back on stage, but maybe that's not your outlet. Maybe the outlet is
I just want to make people laugh. I think,
Right.
And if that's with stand-up comedy, I do want to get back up there just to kind of get the rust off. But
here's the other thing. You make something funny on social media, millions of people can see it.
that's true.
You go on a stage and make people laugh at a comedy club. Maybe it's 40 people. I don't know. How many people are in a comedy club?
for these open mics, I mean, you're lucky if you get 10.
Yeah.
And
so
like someone's making pizza in
your
the background.
impact is way greater.
Yeah.
Right? Doing it that way.
And it's like way more dangerous doing it in person. You know, you could get in a fight with just 10 people there.
You got to leave the house. You got to put on pants.
I know. You got to park in Boston.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. All right. Well, and I, kiddingly, maybe not kiddingly, man, if you want to help us out on some level,
I'm here.
Let's do that, right?
Yeah. Cousin Matt's here.
Got it. Let us transition to recently married.
Mm-hmm.
And how is that going? You and your lovely wife.
It's fantastic.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any
What's he gonna say? It sucks.
That's a good point.
It's terrible.
He might. He might.
Come on.
Before I left tonight, or the other day, Jess comes up to me and she's like, I don't want you talking about me on the podcast. And I'm like,
gee, you should have told us
I'm like, that's exactly what this podcast is going to be about. We're talking about marriage. And she's like, I don't want you to make me look bad. I'm like, you're not going to look bad. I'm like, everyone has a wife. I'm sure they know.
You've been married for a year, right?
Yeah, almost a year.
You're still in the honeymoon phase.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Everything's great.
Everything is great.
Is there a new honeymoon show on TV or no?
What do you mean?
Remember the honeymoon, the show
The
that
honeymooners? Like with
whatever the show was, the honeymoon game. Was
the
the newlywed? Sorry.
Okay,
Newlywed
yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be a good thing to do,
I would love that.
right?
Yeah.
I
But
say,
a
she
year
say
is
in the
good-
butt.
It's good times.
Remember that?
What?
Some of the funny questions. I say, she say in the butt. All right, whatever. Okay, so have you? I think one of the first things we want to ask you is: have you had like your first fight?
Yeah.
And based on
Here comes trouble.
based on your
Yeah.
wife not wanting you to talk
Yeah,
about
here
it, are we
comes
allowed
trouble.
to talk about this?
Yeah, because I said I showed her the prompt that you had. Or
Got
like
it.
We were talking about. And
Okay.
she was like, big dumb fight. And I was like, the pillow fight. I'm going to tell him about the pillow fight. And I was like, that just makes me look terrible.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, and like you said, like dumb, the
Yeah.
fights I found, then it's never anything.
Meaningful.
Yeah, no, it never is. It's over like napkins, like something like that.
Did you stuff
But
the pillow with like bars of soap like
No.
they do in prison?
it's even worse.
When a sock full of nickels.
when we were packing up to come cross country, she had a lot of stuff. I didn't have a lot of stuff. You know, I basically moved around for 10 plus years with 2 duffel bags and like my TV.
And a PS5 or an Xbox.
Exactly. And I wouldn't, like, even my bed frames and mattresses, I'd just be like, throw them out. Don't need them. I'll get new ones. And then every time that I'd get a new place, I'd be like, I need a mattress.
Gotta get a new one.
Why did I throw that out? But we were packing up our U-Haul, or no, our storage unit, and car had a bunch of stuff in it. And she wanted to bring 2 pillows. And I had enough of like packing stuff and all this stuff we got to bring.
You think we can just buy a pillow,
I was like,
right?
just
How much are pillows?
$4 at Target?
No, I was going to say, if you
Seriously?
get a good
Yeah.
pillow, they're not cheap.
Or they used
though.
to be.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so that is something maybe we'll just spend the
Pillows get pricey if you
Yeah.
if you
fancy ones.
But
not fancy, but if you never
The
mind.
ones that contort to your head and stuff.
well, she's got good pillows. She's got good taste.
Okay.
Pillows. But I was like, you only need 1 pillow. She was like, well, I'd like to bring 2. There was room in the car. And let's just say I stuck to my guns
Mhm.
about the pillows. And it turned into our biggest fight.
Matt, how much room can a pillow take
Well,
up?
that's
on
what
that guy?
I-
You like stuff
No,
it
I think it was
anywhere.
more the principle. It sounds like it was the principle
So
of the thing.
I've learned a lot in my, I've learned, I mean, you grow
Yep.
as a husband, as
You
a
evolve.
fiance. Yeah.
Yep.
And I've learned that, I should have just let her take the pillow.
Yeah, take the pillow.
Let her
because-
take the pillow.
It's
Larry.
This wasn't her like doing, I will say.
So
this
pick your
wasn't
battles.
her doing.
There you go.
Just
Yeah.
Jess. I was way too stubborn about her bringing 2 pillows. And I think I was just, I don't know if I was tired, but I learned a lot.
How long did it go on for, the fight? Like different states? Were you driving through states?
No.
So
It
she
was
bought a
like,
new
it was a very intense fight for like 15 minutes.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot of talking after. Then there was me reflecting immediately, being like, oh boy, I said a lot of things.
You didn't pick the right battle?
I did not. I was like, everything I just did was, we could have just had 2 pillows in there, and there could have been extra space. Could have fit another backpack in there as well. And the next day, I was just me apologizing. Like, I'm sorry.
Do you laugh about it now?
Honestly, that fight was so intense.
You don't laugh about it.
I don't even, we can laugh about it. I will say this. We do laugh about it. I don't even like to bring it up. Just because, not just because I'm embarrassed.
And now you've just said it on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a good story. It's learn, gentlemen.
Right.
Just, let small things go. And because I'm embarrassed. Like, it's one of those things. I'm like even sweating a little bit right now. I'm like, should I have told the pillow story?
Johnny said it best. You have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
You'll learn that in marriage. So you're young. You were newlywed, right? So you know.
This is before. Yeah.
Oh, it was before.
Do you like how we placed a pillow next to you just so you can?
And there's another on the back.
Yeah.
Just like 30 in the back.
So when I proposed to her, I actually made a book of our relationship.
Oh.
And and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can show you. I can send you guys a copy.
Yeah.
But one of the pages is about the pillow fight. I was like, you stuck with me through our worst fight. And it's like me holding a pillow in a storage unit place or like it's
tossing it.
Yeah. So I guess we can laugh about it because I put it in the
made you stronger.
You got do you have a pillow fight story?
No, I told you. My wife and I don't fight too much. She's very quiet. Well, she was. She learned how to break balls from me, so now she's a ball breaker.
Okay.
But before I met my wife, I had a girlfriend that was a really hot-blooded Italian. And we used to fight all the time. So I was used to fighting all the time. And when I met my wife, it was before we got married, we got into a fight. And she was like going, like, I'm looking. And she's like, beep, like she was going to start to cry. And that was the end of it. I was like, I'm done.
Can't do this.
Like, I didn't even yell that badly. You know what I mean? Compared to what I used to do. I just like raised my voice about something, and she was just about to cry, and that was it. I never
made you feel terrible.
Yeah, I felt horrible.
Like, I'm never doing that.
And I never did it again.
Yeah.
Like
I can't even remember early fights because, like we said, it was probably something stupid. We fight about money. Where to spend it, when to spend it.
Yeah.
Should we spend it? Why are we fucking spending so much?
I'll tell you this though. Like once in a while, you have disagreements, and like I will apologize and give up on something, and I know it's like
you weren't wrong.
I'm right, but I just don't care anymore. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Right. Because I do try to be right all the time. That is a character flaw for me. Like I like to think I'm right like all the time, and I so I have to give in.
I could say this too. I mean, it sounds like you've learned a lot in just a year, right?
Oh yeah.
But the other thing is, life, throws you a lot of shit. So I've been married 31 years now, and when you realize all the shit that, sucks in life, like it gives you perspective, right? Like, why should I make a big deal about something like that?
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I don't know.
My wife and I figure it like this. You're a team, right?
Yeah.
Once you know you're a team, you can get through anything. Like as long as you guys are on the same team and are on the same page, you'll always be okay. Like it works for us. As soon as she's like, not on your team, now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you have to always be together.
So I think I know the answer to this question, but your wife appreciates your sense of humor, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We communicate very well. And humor is definitely she's super funny. I will say that. And I'm not just saying that because
she's listening and
she's on the pod. But no, she's super funny. I think she makes
you got to compliment each other that way, right?
We communicate well, compliment each other all the time. Like you said, teammates, it's a big thing.
Always.
I mean, other than the pillow thing.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever. And that's in the past.
Yeah.
Where do you have children? Because you're going to have a lot of disagreements. And like I said, the goal is, all right, here's the goal, same team.
That's when it's really important. Because they'll play off each other.
Yeah, they'll play against you. Like my daughter did that the other day.
Older or younger daughter?
Leah, she was going out. She wanted money for something. And my wife's like, no, I just gave you money for this or that. And I don't even want to really say what I think the money was going towards. But I gave her the money.
Guns. She's running guns.
Yeah, she's running guns.
She's running guns.
Out of boxing. And so I go to my other daughter, my oldest. So I was like, she's buying booze. She's buying booze, right? And my wife's like, and she's young too. So, but like, I was just kidding around. But like, she said, Mom said you could give me money. My wife's like, no, I didn't.
That is a ballsy ask, right? Like,
and she's like brilliant. She's like an all A student. She's a really good kid.
Yeah,
but she knows how to play the game.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
But you always have to be on the same side.
Yeah.
So when you're raising your kids, because it's not good if you're not.
Yes,
because they sense it and they can play on it. and then you get in trouble.
All right. Are we good with married life, or do you anything else you want to go over married life?
Me?
You. I mean, with Matt.
I think he's good. He's going in. He's learning. He's doing all right.
I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
I think I'm doing okay.
Sounds
No,
like
you
it.
guys are good. You guys are good.
Listen, I've had some
You guys-
friends that were married a year and they shouldn't have been married the year at all. So if if you're feeling good,
You guys are
you're in good
soulmates.
shape.
I'm
You
having
can tell. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, everything is
You're looking at me like I'm questioning you, right? You're like, wait,
everything is great. No, seriously, I'm having a great time. And I've heard from like cynical people. They're like, yeah, wait till you get married. And I'm like, I've been I think the planning a wedding was stressful. But we got after the wedding, everything was like it's great. I mean, we had an issue going to our honeymoon. Maybe it's because we were going on our honeymoon, but we had our first I wouldn't say crisis because it's terrible. This isn't a crisis, but first minor issue, which was our plane got delayed. Our whole all of our plans had to change for our honeymoon, and Jess was just like, "Why don't we just spend the night in LA and then figure it out?" And I was like, "Cool."
There you go.
And I was like, "This is great."
You could have been fighting all night and ruined the whole thing.
But
yeah,
I think
you have the right person.
She's great.
You're in good shape.
She's great.
But here's the difference
She's
too.
great.
Here's the difference. You got married at what age?
33.
Right.
Yeah.
How old were you?
26.
25.
Okay.
Kids are waiting longer now, right?
Yeah.
So if you're 33, you kind of already have sowed your oats a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I think kids are ready.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
What do you mean?
You said
Sowed your oats? You never heard that phrase?
I mean, I've heard of it, but it just sounds like.
Well, I think that's what they say.
Is he a farmer?
No, is that what they say? Sowed your oats?
What is it?
Is that no?
Is that like the harvest has been?
No, I just
picked?
think you go out. I don't know.
Planting seeds?
I feel like sowed your oats is that really a problematic phrase?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I didn't think it was problematic. I was just wondering what you.
Is that you think it's that?
What?
All right.
Yeah, it's that.
It is?
Yeah. What is? Yeah, right.
Okay.
I
Should have said why don't you?
I'm gonna research.
Why did you just say this?
What?
You probably banged a bunch of girls.
No,
already.
didn't say
you
that.
Just cleaned it up for you,
Didn't
Matt.
say that.
I didn't do anything.
I don't think it's.
I met my wife, and that was.
I don't think it's that specific. I don't think it's that. No, I don't think it is. Okay. What I'm saying though.
Cut that in post.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that again, I think kids are waiting a little bit longer. You know what you want.
Yep.
Right. You're not just okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's shift back into comedy.
Yep.
Okay. We put together a list of when Ricky and I were your age-ish.
Give you sowed ones, wild oats. Engage in a period of wild, irresponsible behavior while young, especially involving many casual sexual experiences.
May doesn't have to though, right?
You said we didn't talk about sex on this show. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever. I think it was I would still stand by that phrase.
Me too.
There you go. All right. So we leveraged Google, ChatGPT to come up with when we were kind of your age-ish.
Yeah.
What were the funny things in the world?
I'm excited for this.
Okay. So we're gonna run down them, and you tell us if you know what it is.
Yep.
And if you do, if you think it's funny.
Okay.
Why don't you start in a row?
Were you a big
Start.
Seinfeld fan?
I was not.
Okay. So
Okay.
You don't know the soup Nazi.
So I know of the Soup Nazi. Most of my I just never got into it.
Okay.
I've seen a few episodes, but it was never my thing. I have friends who love it.
What about Friends? Did you watch Friends?
I like Friends.
So was it was it Angle Park? No, it wasn't Angle Park, and that was Rich Cunningham. What was the one when they were trying to get the couch around? Pivot. He was calling it Pivot.
Yeah.
Right? Pivot.
Oh, yeah, because Abby got into certain things. She knows everything about Friends.
But that was a big one, right?
And she's
they were
younger
gonna
than you.
pivot to
Yeah.
try to get the couch
So were
out.
you obsessed with watching Friends? It's like,
My sister was.
oh, okay.
Friends came back too. You know what I mean? Like you said for your daughter.
Oh,
right?
she knows everything about it.
I was 13 when it ended because it was 94 through 2004.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. You
But it had a
know the-
resurgence on Netflix though.
Yep.
Yes.
Like maybe 10 years ago, I would
Yep.
say. It was huge.
Yep.
And they just make so much money.
Yep.
Don't
The
they all-
residuals.
They make like $20 million a year each just off.
Still.
Yeah, still.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jennifer Aniston's probably done a ton after that. But what did Jason, what's his name? Biggs or not Biggs?
David Schwimmer?
Yeah, David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer?
He was the most famous one when they started, right?
I think
Really?
so.
Like he was the most recognizable one.
He was in Band of Brothers. Did you see that?
He did a lot of side projects that every time you see him, you're like, oh, David Schwimmer. Or like, oh, Ross.
Yeah.
What's Ross
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
here?
yeah.
He's always
Yeah.
kind of serious. I think he played Kardashian in something.
He did. The OJ movie.
yeah.
He was the lawyer. He was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Band of Brothers. He might have been in the Pacific.
Did you see the Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
He was such a dick
Yeah.
in Band of Brothers.
But you play that funny character. You're probably itching to be like,
Yeah, straight.
like you're
Yeah.
like, give me
Serious.
something where everyone hates me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was
I mean,
brutal in that.
Yeah. How
Such a
about
good
how
show.
about are you a Saturday Night Live fan
Love Saturday Night Live.
throughout the years or just modern day?
From I would
Will
say
Ferrell?
from Will Ferrell, Chris Farley, and
Cowbell?
Yep.
Do you like Cowbell?
Yeah, I've been watching SNL consistently.
I got a fever.
since-
And the only prescription is more Cowbell.
Yep. I love Jimmy Fallon breaking character. That was
Yes.
around when I first started.
Well, and then what's
watching.
the other guy that's Barry? The guy that's in
Yeah,
Barry.
he did it all the time too.
Oh, Bill Hader.
Bill Hader,
Yeah,
all
Bill
the
Hader
time.
was great. But I watch every episode of SNL. Me and my wife, that's like our one show
Yes.
that we don't watch without each other.
Got it. We have
keep
that in common for sure.
Yep.
Chris Farley? Were you
Love
a Chris Farley? Okay.
Yep. Hilarious.
Wayne's World?
Loved Wayne's World.
Okay.
Yep.
You
I mean, Happy Gilmore.
Loved Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore's great.
Very
is there another one coming out or something?
Yep. They
yeah,
just
they're
dropped
doing another one.
Okay.
Yep.
Dumb and Dumber.
Love Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, it was.
I'm a
Austin Powers.
I loved Austin Powers.
Where you from? Austria. Oh, good day, man.
Fun fact.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Fun fact about Austin Powers: me and my family were out in California, and we were at the premiere of the third one, Goldmember.
Goldmember.
And my uncle, who went to chiropractic school with my dad, we call him like the chiropractor to the stars.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "I'm gonna get us in," and we're like, "Okay." So we waited outside. And he was like working. He took his passport and he took like a slip that said director. And he started going to all the security guards. He's like, listen, I'm going to put you guys in my next movie. Like, you're huge. You look great. Like, you can be henchman number 3.
Did it work?
They were all gathered around him. He comes back. He's like, hey, there's like 8 people that haven't showed up or got their tickets. They said they're going to give them to us if they don't show. And while we're waiting, like Wayne Brady walks by.
Oh.
We're like, Wayne Brady takes a picture with us, still have it in my room.
Nice.
It's really cool. We saw a lot of famous people, but then the people showed up. We couldn't go in.
Damn
But
it.
We were
Did
like,
you see that Wayne Brady skit on Chappelle?
love that one.
That is
I haven't-
so funny.
Oh, you
I don't
haven't
know.
seen that?
He's like a
No.
gangster. Oh my god, Johnny!
You have to share it.
Yeah,
Share
yeah,
it.
well, it's.
You think I'll like it?
It's unbelievable.
You think I'll
'Cause
like
you
it?
It's
just-
one of the funniest Chappelle skits.
It's so
Key and
good.
Peele?
Love Key and Peele.
Key and Peele's great. You like Key and Peele?
I do.
Key and Peele's
He's
good.
great. He's in a lot of stuff too.
Yeah. I just saw one the other day. It was like he shows up and he says, there's a continental breakfast. and he just loves the fact that there's this continental
Oh,
breakfast.
yes, I have seen that one.
It's- right?
Yeah.
He's like saying different things from different countries or whatever. In Living Color.
I know of it. Never watched it.
I think you'd enjoy it.
That's with Jim Carrey, right? In the Wayans
Yeah,
Bros?
yeah.
Yep.
I think you'd enjoy it.
Yep.
They were funny. There was some funny stuff going on there. I mean, Jim Carrey was super talented.
There was something
Very
about him that
funny.
annoyed me too, but he was talented.
He was as a kid, like he really rose.
Yeah,
Like, you know, he was talented. He deserved to be.
Canada puts out some good comedians.
they do.
Yep.
They really do. How about you? What we talked about SNL, some of the older things that we enjoy. What do you like for comedy? What do you like?
Love the
watching?
specials. Although, you know,
Like stand-up comedy specials?
stand-up comedy specials are great.
Yeah.
Haven't really fallen in love with any of them since like Sebastian Maniscalco's.
Okay.
Those
But
ones
he's
are
good.
great.
I like him.
Yeah, he's great.
What about Bill Burr? I love Bill Burr.
I like Bill Burr.
He's
I saw
great.
Bill Burr at Fenway. That
Yeah.
was miserable.
I wish I had gone to that. Though. I missed it.
Honestly, it was muggy.
Oh yeah.
People were hammered, which is fine, but in Fenway, you know, like you're squished together
Yeah, right.
and you're like spilling beer all over everyone, and they took your phones and they made you put them in these little pouches.
Really?
It's a pain in
Yeah,
the
I got
ass.
mine out
Yeah.
though. So
But
Wow.
he's great. I love him.
yeah.
I haven't seen Sebastian Maniscalco. I was like, I've watched his shows. It's funny. I relate to him because he kind of grew up like me, like in like New York, in like
Yeah.
Italian and his families. And
Is he New York
I
or
relate-
Pennsylvania? Is he New York?
Chicago.
Was he Chicago?
Well, yeah, but he
Okay.
was and his father. My father wasn't a barber. I'm just saying, like you listen to his stories, it's just like how I grew up,
Here,
and he's funny.
what
So-
I would tell you about going to his shows, we saw him at the TD Garden, and or I never called it the TD Garden,
Yeah.
just TD Garden. or the garden. And
Garden.
we were up in the balcony, and there's a lot of Italians at the shows.
Yeah.
Italians love to talk, and I'm Italian. Sit close to him.
Can't
Because-
hear him.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
else is talking.
All the Italians were just talking the whole time, and I want to be like,
That's rude.
I was like, you guys need to
shouldn't
shut
do
up.
That. Come
Like,
on.
I
No, but they
can't
were
hear
doing it in a
anything.
loving way, though, right? Like sharing the joys of the comedy.
They were just being very Italian.
Oh,
about
okay,
it.
gotcha.
They were having their
That's no good.
conversations.
I gotcha.
People kept getting up
Yeah.
and like getting drinks, and like someone would be in the aisle, and maybe she'd be like, "Tracy, you want a drink?" I'm like,
Like, what would be your favorite? Did you see Eddie Murphy when we were kids? His like Delirious
Mhm.
and like was fantastic. I mean, Richard Pryor was great. We
Yep.
talked about Carlin. I mean, geez, like, Robin Williams was funny.
Yep.
He was
Yeah, he
good
was
stand up. He was really like intelligent. What
Yep.
would you give for like even Chris Rock? Like, was it? What
Oh,
was
if you had to
it?
see
Like,
one
if
stand-up-
you had to give one, like say what was your favorite, what would it be? I know it's tough to give your favorite, but a top three maybe.
"Oh yeah, okay, that's fine." So Dave Chappelle, because I watched Killing Him Softly.
That's
His stand-up special.
Yeah.
That was the one that I watched when I was a kid. That I was like, I watched it over and over
Right,
because
right.
we had a DVD player. I remember
Right.
my sister had like a small TV in her room, and she had that on, and I would just watch it over and over. And I thought all those skits were so funny. A lot of people controversial, maybe Dane Cook, one of the first guys I was introduced to in
Yeah.
6th grade. He gets a lot of
He
hate.
was funny. Well, he's kind of a dink. That's why he gets.
But doesn't
hate,
it come
I think.
around again and maybe not as much hate, or does he still get hate?
I think he's like given it enough time. That
Okay.
he's come back. His
Yeah.
last stand-up special was at his house, which I thought was funny.
Like right here, right?
No, in L.A.
Oh, because he's from Massachusetts.
Yeah, he's from Arlington.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
funny. Louis C.K. got a lot of guff
Yeah.
too, and
Yeah.
I
That
did
was
some-
trouble.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like he's funny. I've seen some stuff with him.
Jim Gaffigan?
I like Gaffigan. I just
Okay.
saw him.
He's straight. He doesn't say.
Norm
he doesn't
Macdonald
say-
was really funny.
very
Also-
good.
Gary Gulman. You know,
I
that-
love Gary
Gary
Gulman.
Gulman is one of my favorites. He's from
I-
Peabody.
Love him.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
really?
He is incredible and a lot of anxiety, a lot of like he's got some serious books
Yeah.
about.
Is he? Where do you watch him? I'd like to see. I don't think
You,
I've
you
seen him.
can YouTube him. He's
Like
like
Netflix
6'7"
or like-
or
You can-
something, right? He's like 6'6". He's
Yeah, he
wicked
played
tall.
tight end at BC
Oh,
for a
wow.
little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
He literally is our age from Peabody.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like it's Hulu or Netflix. Like you got to find out where the stand up
You
is
can probably just find him on YouTube.
on YouTube. Just go
I'll
to
share.
Instagram.
I'll share. I always
Yeah.
share with my sister because she likes him. I'll
Yeah.
share with. He's really good.
He's just got such an interesting way at looking at things, and
Yeah.
that's kind of like, I mean, a lot of comedians do, obviously, but his like, he
Oh,
was
the
just-
Walkman. Have you heard the bit about the Walkman?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Oh no, you have every song. What?
Yeah.
No, every song that's ever been created now is
Yeah.
on.
But that's what's good about comedy, right? Like if you can write good comedy, people relate to it, and that's what brings people in. I think.
Yeah, no,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? And that's why the writing's important.
How about social media? Do you enjoy comedy from social media? Do you
Oh, I love-
check TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff?
I was so addicted to Instagram that I had to get rid of it
Really?
just because I would scroll all the time, and I just want to find the next, like,
Yeah.
I get addicted to social media very quickly. That's why I try to have as few social media platforms as possible on my phone.
But
Yep.
if you're getting back into it, you might have to get that going again.
No, I know.
Okay.
And I
I
will.
have something for you too. So, again, this is when I was young, and it was before my time. But they just did one for Brady. Was the roast? Did you ever watch those
That
roasts?
roast was hilarious.
Yeah, like his roast was good.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the older ones? Like they had roasts like the Friars Club.
Oh, it's
right?
cringy.
And like they're so funny.
Oh
like
my
they just,
God.
I love the fact that they just beat the shit out
But
of
could you?
know what I
You
mean?
don't. They got to be pissed, right?
Yeah.
Like they're smiling, like, oh,
And
that's
with
funny.
Brady, they went after Giselle. Like that was
Yeah.
personal stuff that they went after him with, and he knew it. He knew it was coming.
No, didn't he say something when they went after Kraft? He's like,
Yeah.
knock it off. Don't
just
do it.
Kraft. He
Yeah,
did. But
Don't
like
do Kraft.
Giselle, they were hanging her and his relationship and the karate guy. And,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm just saying, I've watched roasts from like the old Brat Pack when it was like Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. Freaking Don Rickles. You ever
Oh yeah.
listen to Don Rickles sometime if you love comedy. He just tears someone apart.
Yeah.
It's great. Like I love that comedy.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Do you think because I'm as I ask you this question, I think about it myself. Do you think your comedy has changed over the years, or what you thought was funny, when you were 10 is still what you think is funny now?
Yeah, no, it's definitely evolved. I was actually just looking at my I have notes in my phone, and I was kind of going through them, just seeing if it was comedy bits, but I can like see what I thought was funny 5 or 6 years ago. And
Really?
yeah, I have them in here. I haven't really read them, but
I think I'm the same.
You can do comedy on your marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well-
your life experiences changes as you know, when you get older. Now you have marriage, even the Bill Burr with his wife, and this was funny for my family, this dishes in the sink. Oh, I'm soaking them. Like someone's a soaker, someone's a washer. Like that's my house. And like, so you can do stuff just like that, when you're in your home,
Yeah. And I think that's what I mean by it's evolved. Is like, I'll find the old stuff funny, but like you said, I'm married now and I get that.
Yeah.
Like once I got married, I was like, I'm part of the club now.
Yeah.
Like I get these jokes more.
Yeah.
Right.
And like now when I listen to comedy from guys who are a little bit older than me, I'm like, I get that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I forget to wipe down the counter, when I'm told.
Close the toilet seat.
Exactly. Like
Still don't do that.
like I shave in the bathroom and I don't clean.
Oh my God, you gotta leave whiskers in the sink.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's
See?
a bad one.
Right. That's yeah.
Because you have it, and guys like us relate to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
But do you still think you talked about when you were doing comedy, you wanted it to be real, you didn't want to make up stuff. You have way more flexibility if you make up stuff.
Yeah, but I don't like to. I don't. I so.
But
That's
now
like the
you
meat of
got
a
your
story,
wife.
and then
No,
you
but
can-
now you got your wife involved, so maybe you need to make up stuff because she doesn't want you to tell all the truths.
I would never say anything that would embarrass
but I'm
my
saying-
wife.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be funny to come up with a bit about your wife that didn't really happen, so she's fine with it, but it's still a funny bit?
But you know,
Do you know what I'm
what?
saying?
It depends what it is because I don't know. I'm learning having a wife. Like if I made something up and it wasn't true,
You have to tell your
And-
wife right off the bat, look at, I'm a comedian.
I know.
Stuff's coming up. I love you more than anything in the world. Don't take anything personally.
Well-
And that's it.
I would say that if I start, I'll do some shows, put some stuff out, some short videos and stuff. If that ever took off, I mean, I'm enjoying my career right now outside
Yep.
of comedy a lot. But if it ever took off, I guess then I would have to sit down with her
Yeah.
and be like, listen. Like,
Well, do you think your outlet's going to be creating funny things, sending it out to the world, social media? I
Mhm.
know it's a necessary evil, or getting up and doing stand up? Because I feel like we've already come to the conclusion that you can have way more.
No, Matt's coming on the road with Mac and G.
Yeah, but you
And we're
can have
gonna-
way
we're
more
gonna film
impact.
stuff.
You can have way more impact creating something on your phone and sending it out to the world.
I do want to get up on stage to do the stand up.
Okay.
I think that's fun. But I think I would be, I don't want to say happier, but I would like to do videos more, the skits more. Like you said, you can get it out to more
Yeah.
people. And like I said earlier, in terms of stand up, I hit everything I wanted to
Yeah.
hit.
Check that off.
I got paid for it.
Yep.
I did multiple shows at the Comedy Store. I did a show at the Hollywood Improv. Like I did it. I did what I like.
Yeah.
I set maybe I should have set some more goals after that, but I'm pretty content with where my stand-up career went.
Right.
But I'm still going to get up and do it.
Well, yeah, I guess it tests that muscle a little
Yeah.
bit, right? Because I was listening to a podcast today, and a guy that hit it on social media talked about like the very first video of his that went viral.
Yeah.
And he had nothing before that. He videoed one night.
Mhm.
So he was from New York City, moved to Vermont, tried a whole bunch of things. His parents moved to Vermont. They opened up a restaurant. He was helping, his family out. And at like 10 o'clock at night when they would shut down the restaurant, that's when he would video.
Yeah.
And he videoed one thing and he went to bed. And when he woke up, there was 6 million views.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he had 20,000 people that were following him in one fucking night.
And boom.
Wow.
Like, that's impactful. You can't do that on.
What the hell? He had to
stand-up.
do something funny or interesting.
Yeah, it was funny.
I mean,
It was funny.
And-
It was funny.
I mean, that changed his life overnight.
Yeah.
He probably has
Well, you got to keep doing it
No,
for sure. But
but-
that shows you I have the capability to do this.
Yeah.
Right?
and you get those followers, and then
Yeah.
you can you're right. With the videos, you really can just change.
You can hit
overnight.
it. You can hit it.
Yeah.
And, and I think a lot of it is how frequently can you get it out there.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like your generation, boom, I can video something right now, edit it a little bit, get it out there, and 20 minutes later,
Yeah.
I'm good for the day.
I'll show you the video I made the other day, and it
Okay.
was because I called a realtor to talk about.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw a little of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm probably after.
Yeah,
too many
it was a
Guinnesses.
long, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll show you it again.
The after party went until 2:30. So that's all you have to say.
And then I knocked on your door
that was great.
I was hanging out with his kids, and they were like, we're gonna keep drinking after the after party. And my wife was like, to your daughter, she was like, what room are you in? It was like 246. So we go back to our room.
My kids did.
Me and my wife change. We grab. She's like, we got to bring something. I'm like, it's 3 a.m. We don't have to bring. She's like, grab that bottle of champagne. I'm like, I didn't know we had this.
Yeah.
But we go to the room. We knock on the door, and my aunt opens up.
Because the kids aren't back yet.
It's like 3 a.m. and she's like, come in. And then you're just
but 3 but listen, 3 a.m. normally would be whatever. But the thing didn't end until 2:30.
Yeah,
so it's like they were just wandering somewhere before they finally came. And then did you guys stay up until like 5?
We were up till like 4:30 in their room, just chilling with them.
Sound familiar? Sound like a McMahon event?
And your wife, right before that, was like, she's like, be a role model of the boys. And I was like, absolutely. And
that was, you guys probably had some really fun conversations.
We did.
So yeah,
it was great.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I thought it was funny how they told us the wrong door. But that was great.
Okay. So I think we're at a point now where so we talked about you coming on the show when we were in Ireland.
Yeah.
Right? Here you are.
It happened quick.
You started thinking of some other ideas that you could bring up, and you came up with a really good idea. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to tease it right now. And by the way, you and Ricky are all in line with this because he's the guy that watches movies and stuff. But tease it out.
Okay.
And I think this is going to be an ongoing thing, right?
I would love that. Hey.
Right? And I don't know if it's asking people to vote for it or if we debate it, whatever. We'll figure it out.
It's got to go on Instagram.
Yeah.
As a graphic.
Yes. So why don't you explain what you put together?
Okay. So the other day, having a conversation with my buddies about who the ultimate action hero character, whatever you want to call it, is. So looked online, couldn't find anything. I mean, I found a bunch of people on Reddit discussing, but there was no
action hero movie in a movie. Yep.
So I put together a March Madness type bracket of the top 32 action heroes, fictional, that I could find. Rules are no superpowers, no repeat actors, so only one of their characters can be in it. And I'm still trying to decide if it's like a fight in a cage or if it's a fight in
you have to do that.
Like if it's in a kitchen,
match.
that changes a lot for many people. Like if some of these people can get their hands on knives or, different things, I'm sure that would change the outcome. So I still have to decide that. But anyways, it's a list of 32 of the best action heroes, and we're going to figure out who's standing at the end.
But listen, I want you to know how much thought you put into this.
A ton.
Because not only did you want to make sure that the 32 were the right 32.
Yep.
But correct me if I'm wrong, you tried to maybe rank them so that, like, I don't know if you want one playing 32 and two did you think about
I did.
Rankings?
Yeah, they're seated 1 through 8 in 4 different regions. Yeah, and I probably spent, in total, probably 6 hours, I would say, on and off over the past 5 days.
This is the type of effort we need for the Matt and G show.
Listen, can I tell you something? Yeah. I would make lists up here and there, and then he would be like, just do it on.
What?
I spent time on this when we started, and he likes the AI version of the list. He goes would you do AI with that, or you did that personally?
So, great question.
Yeah.
I'm like in a sales call. I'm like, great question. I made the character list of the original 32, and then I'd say 27, 28 of them from the original 32 have stayed. And then I ran it through AI to rank them, and then I went through different.
That is great.
Movies.
So you go, I have the following, and will you rank them from best to worst?
And I said, rank them best to worst in a fist fight. At first, it was giving me this person wins versus this person, or they would give me 2 scenarios in each fight. For instance, John Wick beats Ellen Ripley straight up hand-to-hand combat, but Ellen Ripley, if she's in space, beats John Wick because
she puts on the alien suit.
Exactly. And I was like, I said, AI, I need you to give me a definitive winner.
Yeah. No. Did you also ask where should they compete?
Yes. So I did that myself because the ChatGPT was having a rough time. It was the first time I didn't say please and thank you.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
you're getting pissed. It wasn't getting it right.
I was like, I was explaining it. So finally we got it, and I didn't touch it, but yeah,
you and Chat
So it's a hybrid. Of
We're
your,
wicked tight.
Yeah.
It's
We
a
tight.
hybrid. It's a hybrid of your thoughts
Exactly.
in your list and some.
But did you already play it all out with
No.
competing?
No,
Oh,
no,
because
no.
you played some of them out.
So I it took me a long time to get this right. So like, there's surprises. Like, I mean, James.
well, why
Bond,
don't you listen? Why don't you? So is it ranked 1 through 32?
It's ranked 1 through 32.
Read them off.
Okay,
Go ahead.
hold up. All right, we have John Wick, Cam from The Protector. Don't know if you've ever seen that movie. Fantastic. We have
you?
You're going across.
I know. I guess I'll just read them down.
Wait,
not-
no, wait,
not
so does
listed. I'm gonna read-
again? Does one face 32?
one
Or-
face is 32, two faces 31. I'm just gonna read them. I'm gonna read the
Okay,
entire
just read
list.
them down. Yeah, read them down.
Not in any order. Okay.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
Just because it's
right.
like it's all jump.
Got it.
We have John Wick,
Okay.
Ellen Ripley,
Mm-hmm.
James Bond,
Mm-hmm.
Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Escape from New York.
James Bond's tricky because there have been so many actors,
I'm gonna
and
say-
some are tougher than others. I feel like
I'm gonna say Daniel Craig.
that's the toughest.
That's who we're gonna go
yeah.
with.
Okay.
Frank Dux from Bloodsport.
Do you know this? Do you know this?
Yeah, it's
Fantastic movie if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
the Belgian.
Yeah. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
John Claude.
Okay.
We have James Dalton from Roadhouse. Tyler Rake from the Extraction series. That's Chris Hemsworth.
He's a tough dude.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's number 9.
Yeah. Okay.
He's-
He's a good seed.
Okay.
Yeah. We have Laura Croft, Tomb Raider.
Mm.
The Bride from Kill Bill. Katniss
That's one of
Everdeen.
my
That's your
favorite.
favorite.
It's one of my favorites.
Yep.
Robert McCall, The Equalizer, Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
John Matrix. This was a tough one. John Matrix from Commando. So this is who I picked for Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And I went between Dutch from Predator and John Matrix from Commando. But ultimately, with the help of my friend AI, we decided that John Matrix was
Okay.
the better choice.
Got it.
And also that movie is just hilarious.
Yep.
Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon. Frank Martin, The Transporter, Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Mills from Taken, who is big sleeper. I rewatched the opening scene from Taken, and he's good.
Okay.
But he needs purpose.
He's a big dude too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
He's like
big tough
6'5".
dude. Yeah, he's a big tough. dude.
6'5"?
I think so. I think he's 6'4" at least.
Okay.
Liam,
He's 6'5"?
I know he's a big dude. I don't know. I mean, everybody's tall to me, but
Alexa, how tall is Liam Neeson? There we
That's
go.
close.
That's a big dude.
Okay.
Big Irish dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have Tyler Durden from Fight Club. All right. Then we have Cam the Protector. Already went over. Jack Sparrow. He's one of the lowest seeds. I don't think he's going to do well.
Captain Jack Sparrow?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
He's
crafty.
exactly. He's crafty.
Crafty
Like,
bugger.
if he's on the water, he's
Yeah.
on a ship, maybe.
if it's fists, no swords.
He usually tries to just escape, though, not.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon. So that's Mel Gibson's
Mel
character.
Gibson, he's tough.
Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Bourne.
I want him going down early.
Well, it's him fighting Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon.
You changed that. I thought you had him going after. Did you have Django Unchained in there or no?
I did.
But not now?
Well, there are some people we could discuss to add.
But he's not in it now.
he's not in it right now.
Okay, got it.
Jason Bourne, Mike Banning from the Olympus Has Fallen series. Wong Fei Hung, who is okay, that's Jackie Chan in Drunken Master.
Okay.
I knew I had to have Jackie Chan in there. I haven't seen Drunken Master in a long time,
Okay.
but everyone's like he's the toughest
Mm-hmm.
character of Jack. So,
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Toretto from Fast and Furious,
Okay.
Rama from The Raid, Indiana Jones,
Mm.
Maximus Meridius from Gladiator,
Gladiator.
Gladiator 1 or 2.
1.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne.
That was debatable,
This
right?
is debatable
Okay.
because Batman is a super.
Hero,
He's
but does he
hero.
have superpowers?
Exactly. I said when I put it into Chat GPT, I said, "Give me Bruce Wayne, no superpowers," and they put him at 19.
Okay.
Then we have Frank Castle, who's the Punisher, who is my favorite.
Do you know these things?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Okay.
the name. If I know the Punisher when he says it.
Yep.
Mike Lowry from Bad Boys. That's Will Smith. Casey Ryback from Under Siege, and lastly, John McClane.
Oh.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother effer.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. We're going to figure out.
Is the Punisher John Bergenthal? John Bernthal?
So he's the one in the show.
Okay.
The guy I'm doing for For everything here, it's the movie.
The movie. Okay.
We only
I
do
gotcha.
movies.
But he had a series, right?
Yeah, which was
okay.
awesome.
Right. Okay. Because
Fantastic.
I like him too. He's a good actor
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
All right, so we have to figure out how we're going to do this, how we're going to figure out who beats who.
Yep.
Is it fan participation? Like, do our fans vote,
I would love that.
right?
Yeah.
Whoever wins gets the wall powered drill. We have power equipment. We could if someone picks the winner, we could,
Well, there's going to be more than one picking in the winner, though, probably,
yeah, well,
right? Or do we just have ChatGPT tell you who wins?
I think I actually put some of these people. So ChatGPT gave me this list 1 through 32. So you would assume
that one's the best
yeah, but then I put John Wick versus The Bride,
and didn't get it.
and ChatGPT was like The Bride would beat John Wick
Interesting.
Brad's
In
beating
hand-
a lot.
in hand. She beat 88 people. The
She
88.
can
right?
kill you with her bare hands.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes in sports, there's like one team that just bothers another team,
yeah.
even
So
though
what
they're
if we
not.
have what if we have ChatGPT pick them, and whatever participation we have with fans, if they pick the winner, they win. And if there's a tie, we have a tiebreaker.
We could do
Yeah.
that too. I think we're gonna have to do YouTube Shorts though.
I
I think we produce that.
Yeah.
Right. We got to start doing short form stuff.
So
Yeah.
we'll all dress up as the actor, and we'll just
Right.
do like
Just-
a
yeah.
reenactment.
I think that's the way to do it.
Okay,
I think that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, great idea.
love it.
I like your ideas too, Ricky, when you talk about that kind of stuff.
You don't like any of my ideas, but
So
that's
if
okay. This
I
is
do-
good. This I like when we have
I do
entertainment
like
movie
that.
stuff.
I do like that. So we're coming to the end. Remember to like and subscribe, you people out there. Okay. And definitely follow us on social media because there's a good chance that what we just talked about, we're going to leverage social media.
Yep.
Right. To make that happen. Again, we don't make any money. We'd like to change that. We talked a little bit about dumb fights when you get married. So we'd love to hear from you. If you are married, what's the dumbest fight that you ever gotten involved in? What's something goofy that you got involved in? Matt, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
I had a blast.
You are now a part of Mac and G Nation, and we'll see. Maybe you'll be the producer or something else. We will share anything and everything.
Cool.
Right? We got to get you back on stage because you want to do that. We got to get those social media accounts back up and running.
Yeah.
Right? Would love to be a part of that too.
Yeah, I'll send the links once I get them back up.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Say hi to your lovely bride.
I will.
Tell her that I don't think you screwed up.
No, I
don't
think we
you
did great. I think
we
we
did really
everything was
good.
Then we talked a lot about comedy.
Yep.
We put in the married
Exactly.
stuff in the middle a little bit, and then
Exactly.
we did good.
Exactly. So, as we always end here at the Mac and G Show,
We'll see you.